Hey guys, Monica Lopez here. So we are on day 2 of our new coach training. Yesterday was a bit of a teaching moment, right? We talked about the 3 vital behaviors. I gave you guys a daily to-do list for what I believe a successful coach's power hour should look like. Well, today is kind of going to be a preaching moment. And today I want to preach to you guys about the why power. I would say the why power is the absolute strongest tool you'll have as a coach. I would even push that as far as saying it's the strongest tool you have in life. Being able to pinpoint and clearly understand what it is that makes you tick as a person, what keeps your fire within burning, what it is that makes you wake up in the morning and go. Being able to understand the feelings behind what you do and knowing why you do it is a tremendous and impactful tool. And it's something that when it comes to coach training, it's something that we really hone in on, because if you can pinpoint this early on in your business, it'll carry you through your journey. It'll give you the strength you need to deal with objections, to deal with getting no's, getting people not understanding quite what you're doing here, or even criticizing what you're doing, right? Because sometimes usually when we step out of the box and to the unknown, many people criticize simply for lack of not understanding something. And so as a Beachbody coach, I think that those are things that we, especially early on in our business, have to confront and face. And being able to understand your why power, having what you'll see Vito talk about in a second, your North Star to look up to, is everything. It'll be your savior. So without further ado, give me a second to screenshot here. I'd like to share with you guys Vito's snippet of his presentation at Leadership this year in San Diego. Here we go.
What's that purpose bigger than the time freedom, bigger than the financial freedom? Because those things, one day you're going to achieve those goals and they're gone. And instead, if you have that purpose, that's something higher, that why, that's something more meaningful, that's something worth fighting for, that will be your North Star. And that can't be taken away. That North Star will lead you towards it, because anytime somebody comes to hack at your confidence, anytime somebody does something to you, you're going to be like, no, that's cool. That's all right. That doesn't change, because I'm aiming at that. I'd like to teach you to our team, have your commandments. Now, I'm not religious, but I've studied all the major religions in my own search for purpose. To just be like, what is the common thread between the greatest leaders, greatest religions out there, where they all have something that they can give to the people that's higher than themselves when the times get tough. They're living to something bigger. Like I've shared my team, I'm like, my two is I have the cure for obesity in my hand, and I got the cure for being broke in my hand. Those are my 2 commandments. Anything that aligns with those, I march forth. You try to dent me from those, it doesn't matter, because I'm living into that. And that commitment and that conviction, that's what keeps you focused even in the dark, because that purpose is your beacon. But so many people just are like waiting, like metaphysically, that purpose will come to me one day. It's not coming that way. The piano of purpose will not fall on your head when you walk outside. It won't be in a little basket in the morning when you go out. You got to choose it. That's why it always goes back to choice, intention. It doesn't have to be complicated, especially when we're trying to work with our younger coaches that might not yet have done the level of work that you guys have all done on your personal development. Bring it down to them and be like, hey, what are some of the roles that you have in your life? Mom, team builder, spouse. Be like, what's the purpose you have with that? Well, my purpose as a mom would be to make sure that I can raise the best family and give my kids every dream that they've ever wanted. Cool, that's a piece of your purpose. What about as a team builder, team leader? Because then when something happens, you can challenge them and yourselves to be like, oh, you were fighting for that purpose to give your kid every dream possible. Did that go away? Did that go away just because somebody said something bad about you on Facebook, or somebody said no to a challenge pack and now you're all dented? Or did you have your North Star? Amen. A little exercise you can take back for yourselves. Help them with those.
How powerful is that? All right, so one of the things that Vito talked about, hold on one second. One of the things that he talked about was, understanding that your why power is what is going to carry you through the good times and the bad times. It's going to be something that you celebrate when everything's going great, and you're shooting for, and you see yourself reaching that goal, but it's also going to be the thing that's going to carry you through when you get those objections and you get those naysayers and you get those, like he said, the hackers in your life that want to hack away at your dreams, hack away at your ideas and your spirit. And so it's really important to know what you are doing here, what you want. And a lot of times we hear coaches say, well, what I want is to help people. No, you're fulfilled by helping people. You're fulfilled by giving and sharing and making people happy, but that's not why you're here. When I think of the why power, I think it encompasses three things: family, freedom, and finances. I mean, if you're here because you want to get in shape, what is getting in shape going to bring to your life? Is it going to give you more time with your kids? Is it going to give you more energy to keep up? Is it going to give you less doctor bills or medication, incurring the fees of your medication and your prescriptions and stuff like that? Is it going to give you, being able to build your business and bring in some extra income, or possibly even come home like I did? What is that going to do for your life? Is that going to give you freedom? Is that going to give you the chance to be the mom or the dad or, whoever it is that you want to be in the people, your loved ones' lives? Those are things that, really are a North Star, the thing that you look up to, that no matter what anybody says around you, you're going this way. You're looking this way, straight ahead, and you are laser focused on what you want, no matter what anybody thinks or says. I would like to share with you guys a little bit about my why. And honestly, my why power evolved with time. That's another thing I want you guys to understand. It doesn't have to be all full in, I want to leave my job and come home. You might love your job. You might never want to leave. Or you may hate your job and want to come home one day. But right now, looking at that giant step is jading you, okay? Here's what happened for me. I came into this business with the sole purpose at first just to get in shape. In fact, I only started dabbling into the actual business aspect of this this opportunity to save enough money to get a tummy tuck. I know, right? So superficial, but that's the honest truth. And that was my why power when I started. I wanted that tummy tuck so bad. I was so ashamed of my tummy. I was so ashamed of the damage post-babies that I was willing to work my butt off to save the money, because I felt I didn't want to take the money from my family, but if I earned it on the side, everything would be okay. And so that's what drove me every single day to wake up, get my workout in, because I knew I had to be a product of the product. And then in order to go out there and inspire others to buy the products and drink Shakeology to see how well it's working for me, right? Well, with time, I started getting in great shape, better shape than I have ever been in my life. And Mia was actually born. Give me 1 second, hold on. Technical difficulties, I need to plug in my laptop. Okay, so Mia, I got pregnant with Mia. Mia was born, and so there was a tummy tuck idea, because now I was pregnant again with my third child, and she threw us for a whirlwind, because 2 months after she was born, we realized that she had something called a hemangioma, which is a blood tumor. It's a tumor made up of blood vessels, and long story short, she was on the verge of not just losing her vision in her eye, but losing her eye in its entirety. And so here I have this blue-eyed, beautiful baby girl, a baby girl that I had dreamed about for so long. I had prayed and hoped and wished for my baby girl. And here she was, gorgeous as ever, the only child in the family with blue eyes. And she has this happening to her. It was devastating, to say the least. And so the only doctor that could possibly treat her was the Miami Children's Hospital. We had to be at the hospital once a week minimum to administer this actual medication that's for heart disease. We had to administer it because it had not even been FDA approved, but they had seen in some trials a child that had a hemangioma and also had a heart defect, taking this medication, and it solving the problem of the hemangioma and shrinking the tumor and not allowing it to grow. So here we were doing this medication for Mia, completely not approved, not even tested and proved, but the doctors thought this was her best shot. It worked, but we had to drink this medicine. She had to drink this medicine once a week and then stay for 3 to 4 hours after drinking it to make sure and monitor her that she was okay because she was so tiny. What can I tell you? I was going back to work. This was happening when she was about 2 months old. I was going back to work after 3 months. You know, that's the most that we get. At first, my job was understanding, but then with time, it's like, you got to leave again. Oh my God. And you kind of get those like stink eyes. And it was the first time in my life where my back was completely against the wall. It was like, either be me as mom or do your job of providing for this family and bringing in the money. Because at that time, my income was half of the income coming in to our home. And God, I've never felt so helpless than that moment, having to call my mom or my sister or my friends or even my husband, this poor man with a crying infant, going to these appointments for me with her alone. And I just felt like, no, that's my role. That's not their role. And that was my new why power. Tummy tuck went out the window. In fact, I actually kind of looked in the mirror after having Mia and getting in shape and everything. I was like, I don't even need the tummy tuck. The new why power was to be able to leave my job and sustain a level of income where our family would not be hurt by it, or our family would not be affected by it. And I could be home and be the mom I'm supposed to be, or that I feel I should be, and be the wife that's present and not stressed out, and be the woman that can own her business and make it happen. And so that's what I did, and that was my why power, and that's still my why power to today. My why power, I look up and I think about, I never want to go back to that again. And that's what pushes me every single day, that freedom, that financial freedom, that ability to be home and work from home and build my business from the comfort of my living room after working out and being sweaty and nasty. I could still own it. So that's my white power. So going back to what Vito mentioned, he said, I challenge you to break it down with your coaches. So I challenge you today. Part of this training is I want you to really think hard about your white power. And it must encompass 3 things: family, freedom, and finances. It could be all 3, or it could be just one right now, okay? Whatever it is, it needs to be a deep desire of yours. Even if it's to lose weight, to feel better about yourself, even if it's to bring in an extra $200 a month, $200 to $500 a month, because that will put a big old dent in your credit card debt. Whatever it is, I want you to pinpoint it today and come back to us and share. So that's your assignment for day 2. I can't wait to hear all about it. See you soon, guys.